everyone, I am Sutapa and you are watching the Mindful Learning Academy. Today we are going to do My Mother at 66, poem number 1 from the book Flamingo for class 12 students. So let's start with today's poem, My Mother at 66. This poem has been written by Kamla Das, and before we do the line-to-line explanation, let us understand a little bit about the poetess Kamla Das. Kamla Das is an Indian, hardcore Indian poetess. She was born in the year 1934 in Malabar, Kerala, and she is recognized as one of India's foremost poets. Her works have a lot of originality and it has the flavor of India. My Mother at 66 is a poem that is basically about her mother and her own experiences, and this poem indicates two important themes: the theme of old age and the theme of separation. So let us understand the poem and study about the human relationship complexities that it consists of. So let's start with the line-to-line explanation of the poem. The summary goes like this, that Kamla Das is able to capture the complexities of a human relationship. These complexities are not the made-up ones, but something that belongs to her own personal life that she has seen. She, in this poem, talks about the relationship of her mother and herself. And here in this poem, she expresses the fear of losing her mother as well as her constraints augmented by the harsh realities and complexities of life. However, she tries to suppress her pain and instill hope in her mother through her parting words and smile. So let us understand the line-to-line explanation of this poem, My Mother at 66. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doors open-mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their way homes, but after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma," and all I did was smile, smile, and smile. As you see this poem, you will realize that the poem is not having any full stop until the end. That means the whole poem is written in one single line in a form of a paragraph, and it does not follow any rhyming scheme. So now let's do the first few lines of this poem and understand the meaning of it. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. So our writer, our poetess, she starts the poem from the point where she is driving in a car. She's driving from her parents' home to the airport. to Cochin Airport. And it was a Friday morning. Her mother was sitting beside her. And how was the mother looking? Doors, open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse and realized with pain. So her mother was sleeping, taking a quick nap. Now the word doze over here means to take a quick nap or sleeping. Okay? So quick nap. Open mouth. The mouth was open of her mother. Her face ashen like a corpse. Now ashen comes from the word ashes. And ashes are of which color? It's gray in color. So ashen over here means her face is not bright, but it is a little towards the darker side like gray in color. And her whole body looks as if she was not alive. Corpse. Corpse means a dead body. So her whole body looks as if she is not alive. And realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. So soon our poetess, she looks at her mother and she realizes that her mother is no longer very young. She is aging. She is an old age woman now and very nearly approaching to her death. But soon put that thought away. And in these lines, we quickly see that the poetess is trying to keep that thought of old age to one side, and now she is going to have another thought. Which thought? She's going to have the thought of a young age. So here we get to see the contrast of old age along with the young age. So what does she look at and feels that this is young? Because her mother is a quick example of old age. So she looks at trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. Now, sprinting means running. We know that the poetess is moving in her car. She is driving to the airport, and the trees that are on the pathway on the roadside, they are also moving. So as with the speed, it seems that the trees are moving. So here, running over here means quickly passing away. So the young generation is being depicted by the trees and the merry children. Children who are full of life, full of enthusiasm and energy, depicting the young life. And how are the children looking? Merry. Merry means happy. So the young trees are passing away, looks as if they are running, and the children, they are very happy, spilling out of their homes. Spilling over means to come out in a large number. So spilling over means to come out in a large number. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards. So now they have reached the airport. And airport over here is a place which is having no emotion. The airport is quite impersonal kind of place. Why? Because standing a little yard away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache. So now our poetess, she says that as they approach the airport, and that airport doesn't have any sort of personal touch in it. It is a place which is quite impersonal. Why? Because people are saying bye and quickly moving towards their destination. The cars are coming, dropping the passengers and quickly moving out of that place. So it doesn't have any sort of emotional attachment to anything. It's a very impersonal kind of place. So what is happening in that airport? In that airport, the two ladies, they are standing few yards apart, away. Now they are standing a few yards away. So they have moved apart from each other, they have moved away from each other, and then again the poetess looks at her mother. And how is she looking this time? She is looking wan. Wan means colorless. Pale. Pale is again something that doesn't have a lot of, that's not very catchy to eyes, doesn't have a lot of shine. So pale as a late winter's moon. Now, as a late winter's moon over here is a simile. Now, winter moon is normally used to depict the fading away of moon, the waning of moon. So this is actually a representation of the old age, of death, of decay. So this time when the poetess looks at her mother, she sees that her mother is very old. She is colorless, doesn't have that shine in her life, in her skin color, and she looks as if it is time for her to fade away, to pass away. That means death is approaching towards her mother, and felt that old familiar ache. And now she feels that old familiar ache. So, what is this familiar ache? This familiar ache is a short ache over here, means a pain. So, a pain that she had earlier also faced. Earlier also, she has seen it. So, this ache is basically the ache of a separation. She was separated from her mother because of marriage, and the poem actually depicts the lives of two young ladies, two ladies. One is young and another one is old. And her mother, that is the poetess mother, Kamala Das's mother, was a great influencer on the life of Kamala. So she was also a writer, and she inspired Kamala to become a writer. And over here, the two of them were earlier also separated because of the marriage institution, where the daughter has to leave the home and go to the husband's house. So she says that this pain was not something that was unknown to her. It was a familiar ache. My childhood fear, because Kamala Das was married at a very young age. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. Now, very soon, the poetess, she is very feeling the pain in her heart, very sad from inside, but she doesn't show her emotions. And very quickly, she changes her emotional quotient and she just says, see you soon, Amma. She's able to have a hold on her emotion. And all I did was smile, smile, and smile. So you see, smile coming over here 3 times, and 3 times, each time it is said, it has a different meaning. So the first smile over here is the smile of feeling sorry for the mother, that she has to go away. The second smile over here is the smile of reassurance to the mother that we will meet again. They will meet again. And the third smile is the smile of a hope that next time when she meets, she is going to be alive. The mother is going to be alive, and reassurance. So there are three smiles, and these three smiles have three different meaning. All of them are interlocked with each other. They are very well connected, and they are of different deep, giving a very deep meaning to the poem. A very small poem, but a meaningful one. So I hope you have understood the line-to-line explanation of this poem, and now we will be doing the the poetic devices of this poem. To start with the first one, as I mentioned you can see this whole poem doesn't have any sort of full stop. It is in a form of one continuous line. Hence, it is written in free verse, having no rhyme scheme. So, this is the first poetic device. The second poetic device you can see in the lines of the third line, my mother. The M sound over here has been repeated. M is a consonant sound. At the starting of a letter in the same sentence, the consonant sound is being repeated. Hence, the second poetic device used here is that of alliteration. So we have the poetic device alliteration. Now we'll move to the next poetic device that has been used here, and that is her face ashen like that of a corpse. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. The word like has been used. There's a comparison done between the gray ash and which is coming from the dead body, the gray ash that comes from the dead body with the mother's face color. So there's a direct comparison by the use of the word like. And this is called as simile. So we have the next poetic device, simile. There is one more simile used, and that is as old as she looked. A comparison between her present age and the old age. So here also you can find simile, and there is one more simile that has been used, as late as winter's moon. So as late as winter's moon, here also a comparison has been done. Winter moon, which normally indicates the fading away, the age of the mother has been compared with the fading away of the winter of a moon, which the winter moon. So this is another simile, instance of another simile. Next poetic device that our poet uses is that of imagery. And you will find imagery here, trees sprinting and merry children spilling. When you see read these lines, you get to imagine, you get a visualization of trees that are passing by when you move on the road, maybe in the car. You can imagine very happy children. They are running and coming out of their homes. So this is a poetic skill, that a poetic device that has been used by Kamala Das, and this sort of writing skill is called as imagery. The next poetic device which is used over here is in the last line, and that is smile, smile, and smile. The word smile has been repeated. So we find the next writing skill, repetition. Repetition is repeating of the same word in a particular line, although here the meaning of these three smiles are different. Excuse me. Apart from this, you can find one more poetic device, and that is use of symbols. So symbolism. Symbols have been used, and what are the symbols that have been used? You get the symbols of the tree, symbols of merry children, symbols of the winter moon. So this is another poetic device. With this, we come to the end of the chapter, and I hope you liked the explanation. And in case you have any sort of doubts, you can comment and you can ask me. Thank you everyone for watching the channel. And if you like my explanation, my videos, then subscribe the channel, hit the like button. See you soon with my next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.